At 11:42 p.m., a woman dials 911 from the abandoned Ashdown Central Station. She tells the dispatcher there is a dead man sitting beside her. Patrol cars arrive at the platform 4 minutes later. They find the station completely deserted. There are no footprints in the rain, no signs of a struggle, and no trace of the caller or the body. The station's layout makes this disappearance a physical contradiction. Platform 9 is a dead end, with only one accessible entry point through a service corridor. Moving a body takes time. A fast team couldn't reach an exit in 4 minutes without being spotted. Because a physical escape is mathematically impossible, the focus shifts from the platform to the station's digital records. Investigators pulled the CCTV archives from the night of the call. They find a partial recording from 11:39 p.m., 3 minutes before the dispatch, showing a woman in a dark coat sitting next to a motionless man. The footage is clear until the timestamp hits the 31-second mark. The screen fractures into static. When the image stabilizes, the bench is empty. The woman and the man have vanished during a half-minute digital tear. Technicians use forensic reconstruction to sharpen the grainy frames captured before the glitch. They feed the woman's facial geometry into the National Biometric Database. The system returns a positive identification. The woman on the platform is Elena Vale. This creates a direct conflict with state records. Elena Vale's file was closed over a decade ago, following a fatal car accident that left the vehicle and the driver unrecognizable. The investigation now faces a binary choice. Either the station's digital security has been compromised by a highly sophisticated hoax, or a death certificate from 11 years ago is a lie. Elena Vale's name is tied to the disappearance of Daniel Mercer, an investigative journalist who vanished 11 years ago while looking into the local railway's board of directors. Before he disappeared, Mercer told his colleagues he had found a secret financial ledger, a document that tracked in millions in untraceable corporate spending. This diagram shows the flow of that money. Large sums moved from the railway's accounts into a shell company called North Star Consulting. North Star operated as an engine for media suppression, paying off officials and silencing whistleblowers. Elena Vale was Mercer's research assistant. She was the last person to speak to him, and the only other person who knew where the North Star ledger was hidden. When her car went over that bridge 3 days later, it ended the investigation. But the timing suggests the crash was a tactical move, a way to fake her death and hide from a company that specializes in making people disappear. Modern analysts find a structural anomaly in the 911 audio. The waveform shows the caller bypassed the digital cell network entirely, hardwiring a device into the station's old analog emergency relay. By using the station's own internal wiring, the caller ensured the police would be routed to Platform 9. The focus returns to the man on the bench. He is wearing the same coat Daniel Mercer wore the night he vanished, leading investigators to wonder if the journalist has finally been found. But the image contains a contradiction. Mercer was never married, yet the man on the bench wears a heavy, well-worn gold wedding band. Digital specialists cross-reference the ring's unique pattern and the man's physical build against regional police records. The data returns a match. The man is Chief Inspector Thomas Vale, the officer who originally led the Mercer investigation and declared the case closed. The identification reveals a hidden motive. Thomas Vale wasn't just the lead detective, he was Elena Vale's father. Finding the chief inspector dead at the scene of his most famous cold case suggests the event on Platform 9 was a confrontation. The call was a signal to ensure the police would find the man who orchestrated the original cover-up. A forensic breakthrough finally explains the 31-second glitch. A specialist manages to recover a single uncorrupted frame from the center of the static. The frame shows 2 women on the platform. One sits on the bench, while an identical figure stands in the shadows behind the inspector. This isn't a digital error. The second woman is Nora Vale, Elena's half-sister. She was the one family member Thomas Vale had successfully kept hidden from his public life for decades. This timeline fills in the missing seconds. While Elena provided the distraction, Nora emerged from the blind spot to confront their father. They used the 31-second window to stage the body and retreat back into the service corridor before the cameras could reset. The impossible disappearance was a physical trap designed around the camera's known lag time. It took two people, perfectly synchronized, to move in the shadows the station's security couldn't see. By placing Mercer's coat on the body, Elena forced the state to legally reopen the investigation. It was a tactical choice to link her father's death to the journalist's disappearance. The search of the inspector's property uncovers the North Star ledger. This evidence leads to the arrest of 3 executives and the dissolution of the network. Despite the case being solved, Elena and Nora disappear once again before they can be questioned. To Elena, winning the war against North Star didn't mean she could return to her old life. To keep her sister safe, she had to return to the shadows. On the bench at Platform 9, she leaves behind the analog phone she used to make the call. The screen displays one final message for the investigators. "Thank you for finally looking." It was a survivor's final piece of evidence, a way to ensure the truth is finally seen, even if she had to stay dead to tell it.